G'day everyone, we're taking a look at another Flotsam demo today. This is map 8, Nursery. This is another map that I'd already had the record on, but I wanted to come back and improve my time for, since my previous demo had a fair bit of wasted time during a cleanup phase. That, along with some routing improvements, combined to allow me to save almost 2 minutes, which I'm quite happy with. Given how in-fight heavy the map is, you could certainly take the time lower, but I don't think sub 10 is possible as non-TAS, unfortunately. Anyway, let's jump into the demo. Alrighty, so we start by opening up the secret and getting ourselves an invuln. We're going to use this invuln to do a double archvile jump up to the cyber platform in the middle. Normally to get to that platform you have to clear out a lot of the map and it takes quite a while, so being able to do a double archvile jump up there saves us a ton of time. We grabbed a second invuln up on that platform, and I'm going to use that invuln to try and clear out as much of this archvile cage as I possibly can. There's 4 of these archvile cages around kind of each of the cardinal directions on the map. Clearing one of these out very early, it saves a ton of time in the cleanup. I'll explain that kind of in more detail when we get there. So I need to duck off when I've got a little bit of invuln left to try and clear out this platform of archviles. Unfortunately, I didn't quite get here quick enough to kill them all, and got bounced back a fair bit, so I did lose a little bit of time there, but not too much. And now I'm just going to be pushing down to these pinkies. I need to kind of waste a little bit of time. Over to my left at the moment there's a ton of chain gunners and I can't push through them just yet. I need to let most of them infight and kill each other off, so I spend a little bit of time trying to clear the revenants in that corner pillar. Those revenants can be really annoying during cleanup. You don't want to have to go around to each corner of the map and clear them up after you've done everything else, so I try and clear them as I'm going past, wherever I possibly can. Now that most of the chain gunners are killed, we can push past and start moving around to the other side of the map. Now this second set of archviles, I just want to make sure I've got a couple of BFG balls pre-fired as I'm pushing in, hopefully be able to kill them off without being knocked back too much. And then I keep circling around past these cybers. Now we're going to push into the first 2 switches that we need to press to activate the final phase. When we hit the second switch, we're going to lower, there's going to be an invuln that you can see on the right hand side here behind the arachnotrons, but we're also going to release a group of around 140 archviles that will quickly start undoing all the good work we've done. There's 2 additional invulns in their closet, and our goal is to use them to clear out as many of the vials as possible to limit how much they can res. You're never going to clear them all out, but so long as you can kill the majority of them, the rest will die to infighting pretty comfortably. So we hit the second switch, and we need to be very, very quick after we hit the second switch, because in addition to the archviles, a big group of cybers will also get released. If you're not quick getting around here, you can easily get blocked off by them. I got extremely lucky there. I was on 100 and I got a direct rocket. It did 0 splash damage to me thanks to a somewhat rare bug. If I'd taken any splash there, I would have been dead for sure, so quite lucky. So we grab another mega and the invuln, and we want to rush over to the right and get into the archvile closet. As I said, there's 2 invulns in the closet. We need to get ourselves into position as quickly as possible and start clearing them out. I took note of the time that I took the first invuln so that I know when I need to start pushing out and getting the second invuln. You can't really afford to try and be extremely efficient with your invulns here. Obviously I'm getting bounced around a ton by how many archviles there are, so I typically try and grab the second invuln a little bit early just in case I get unlucky with how many times I get bounced back. Getting the third one's not too bad. Usually you've cleared out enough archviles by then that you can pretty comfortably just run out when the second invuln's about to expire and pick up the third. But yeah, that first one can easily get you killed. Even if you start running out to the second invuln with like 15 seconds to spare, sometimes you can get super unlucky and just get bounced back repeatedly and never be able to get there. So anyway, we've cleared out the majority of them now. I'm going to start pushing out and just trying to clear up a few stragglers, and once they're down at pretty low numbers, I'm going to start focusing on some of the cybers. There are a lot of cybers on this map, and these cybers are very dangerous during the cleanup. There's teleport line defs all around the map to try and limit monsters getting stuck in place, and you can very easily get cybers teleporting right to you, right in front of you, or left or right or whatever, that you're not prepared to deal with. So you want to try and clear out the cybers kind of as early as possible. Before that though, I want to try and finish up the couple of pillars of arch files that we've got kind of floating around the map. I also want to hit these two switches in what were the Cyber Demon closets. That just opens up an exit which contains a bunch of zombie men, but I just want to get it open while I'm in this part of the map so I don't have to worry about running back and opening it up later on. So now we're very much in the cleanup phase. Again, I'm just trying to kill most of the static enemies. The static enemies, you know, stuff up on pillars, etc., tends to be the stuff that won't invite particularly well. So I'm trying to be as efficient as possible, try not to visit the same areas of a map too many times, clearing out as much as I can before I move on. This is kind of the main area of improvement that I made over the previous demo, where in the previous demo there was quite a lot of circling around the map, revisiting the same spots over and over again, which is just not as efficient as being able to plant yourself down, clear everything out, and then move on. So the other major change that I made was to kind of camp in this section for a little while. As I said, there's teleport line deaths all over the map, and if you continue to circle around, the cybers will spread out very well. Whereas if you stay in the one spot, and this is a pretty good spot because you've got a lot of room to move around, you've got a lot of megas to play with, most of the cybers will tend to clump up towards you, and that just makes clearing them out a lot easier than if they're all spread out all over the place. So managed to walk right into a rocket, but thankfully we've got more than enough megas on the map to make up for any little mistakes like that. Now you definitely could look at saving a little bit more time here if you're a bit more efficient with killing these cybers. Even then, even though I'm trying to do my best to get them grouped up, they still are reasonably spread out, so it's not as good as it could be. I can't really afford to play super close in against them. Now that most of the cybers are dead, I'll keep working my way around and hitting, just checking basically each of the corners, again looking at where all the static enemies are, just to make sure that there's none that I've missed. I do miss, I think, 2 barons up on some of these platforms that I don't finish up. It cost me a little bit of time at the end, but thankfully I don't have to spend too much time running around looking for them. And we're going to see here in a moment why I spent that time with the first invuln clearing out this cage of vials. If you don't clear at least most of that cage out at the very start, it's very awkward to get into the center of the map during this cleanup phase. And the center of the map is where you want to be to clear out those archvile cages. If you try and clear them out from the outside here, you have to kind of dance around this cyber demon pillar. You get really inefficient damage, you're not able to go up close to them, and it just wastes a ton of time compared to this approach. So now obviously I just need to clear out these final groups of vials, a little bit slow, but I don't know if there's really a super quick way of doing it. You can maybe use rockets, but I think being able to get some close range BFG shots is the more efficient approach on average. Now I do need to be careful when I get to this section. You can see I'm exposed to the vials on my right. I don't want to get too close to them and worry about getting targeted. So as you can see, I can play pretty close to these guys from inside here, whereas if I'm outside near the Cyber Demon Pills to the right, you just don't get nearly as efficient damage out against them. And this guy's just targeted me, but thankfully there's only one of them. Surprise Cyber popping up. Somehow got himself stuck and didn't show himself until then. It's just 2 lonely barons that I forgot to kill. I think there's one just around to the left here. Yep. And another one not too far away as well. So probably about 15 seconds or so lost to clearing them up. I also lost a little bit of time because I got disorientated. One thing about this map is it's very symmetrical, very hard to tell exactly where you are, but thankfully it didn't cost me the sub 11. Alrighty everyone, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Catch you later.